A full-blown crisis, it seems, has broken out in Incheon for Indian shooters, with many of them not just facing problems with weapons, but also getting deboarded from flights. Indian shooting team's manager told headlines today that shooters Mancher Singh, Shweta Chaudhary, Omkar Singh and Om Prakash were all offloaded from their flight despite being cleared by customs first. Later, they were told they were carrying some accessories and overweight weapons and offloaded. The shooting contingent has put the entire blame on the Indian Olympic Association for failing to coordinate properly and ensuring shooters don't face any issues. Remember, earlier Shweta had to shoot with a new gun instead of a regular one in the 10-meter air pistol event, something she felt could have cost her a better medal.
There is, very lesser coordination, and practically since we have come here as part of one event discipline, so we don't know anybody from the organizing committee, and we are looking towards the IOA chef de mission to solve our problems, which most of the time when they are told to him, he gives us an escapist attitude.
So he is not helping you at all?
No, till now we have not got any concrete help whenever we are facing issues. The shooters who come, they are the only ones who have weapons, and since weapons are a restricted item, so one needs proper coordination through our delegation with the organizing committee. First customs cleared them, then they said they had some accessories with the gun which they are supposed to carry, screwdrivers and all. Because of these minor things, they were offloaded. And even today I have requested IOA to organize a private transport for them, since they'll be reaching in the evening and Gurpreet has a match. I am totally in the dark whether something is happening or not.
That was the shooting contingent's manager earlier in the day, but the chef de mission was quick to respond to the allegations, saying that the problems were very technical and the issues were resolved very quickly. In fact, he charged the shooters for carrying knives and screwdrivers on the flight.
From what I hear from the manager, the issues being 3 or 4. One is that there was some penknife in the bag. 2, there was some lighter in the bag. 3, there was some screwdriver in the bag. 4, the most important thing is that there was an issue with the number. There was a problem with the number of the weapon vis-a-vis the number declared. So there was an issue, and the same issue happened when the entry had gone. The wrong weapon number was given. Then we sent an email to correct that. So there was one of those issues. So to say that the chef de mission didn't do anything, if in 10 minutes if I've resolved an issue for him, he didn't call me till 12 o'clock. The flight was at 9:30. He called me only at 12:30, and at 12:48 he was with the deputy chef de mission, and they called me to say problem is resolved.
Now, while the IOA and the shooting contingent are at loggerheads, the athletes are completely forgotten. The rest of the shooters have finally arrived at Incheon. That's just 12 hours before they go on to play their respective competitions. My colleague Shumon Ray is in fact joining us from Incheon. Shumon, you've been tracking the problems that the shooters are having in Incheon. They are our best bet, if we can say so, in the international tournaments and especially here at the Asian Games. And yet they are the ones who are getting the most problems.
Well, absolutely. The shooters are the biggest draw. They will be winning the maximum number of medals. Having said that, the shooters are not getting the kind of support they need from the NRI, the IOA and the chef de mission. The shooters have been complaining about getting the visas late, and also all the modalities and logistics are not clear. They do not know before their events as to they are not getting practice, they are not getting rest. For example, Pemba Tamang and Gurpreet have just arrived just 12 hours before their event. So clearly it seems that the organizers, the IOA, the NRI are not bothered at all.
Right, Shivan, thanks a lot for joining us. Let me go across to our other two guests, Viren and Boria. Viren, this is a very sad turn of events, isn't it? I mean, no rest, no practice, not even your usual weapons to fight, then being offloaded from flights. This is not how you play international events.
Absolutely, I agree with you in this case. It's very tough for athletes as it is to be competing against the best in the world. And you don't want logistical issues to be sort of affecting your performance. And the frustrating part is, as I said, all these are logistical issues. they can be easily solved with better time management, with better efficiency, better professionalism. As I've said before, events like Asian Games, World Championship, etc., from which the shooters have just come from in Granada, Spain, to the Asian Games, these events are declared well in advance. The shooting team for the Asian Game was known well in advance. So tickets, visas, etc., could have been also done well in advance, and these issues should not be cropping up at the last minute.
Absolutely. Borea, you heard what both sides had to say, what Virendra Dhal had to say and what the Chef de Mission had to say. Just who takes the blame here? That's the big question.
You know, I'm quite stunned at this. I mean, when Shumon broke the story and we got news of this, it sounded surreal that this can happen, that the manager of the shooting team, despite winning so many medals, is actually blaming the Chef de Mission, who in turn retaliates and says, oh, the shooters didn't know anything and were carrying knives and screwdrivers and, you know, all kinds of things. This is bizarre, that the manager and the Chef de Mission are blaming each other when you're at a multidiscipline games. This is a very sad turn of events, and the athlete is right in the middle of it, and the athlete is suffering. I don't know who is to blame. I don't know, you know, whether it's the IOA or the shooting contingent, but the fact of the matter is, India is getting shamed. We are looking like absolute, how do I put it, ridiculous in front of the world. And if this is the way we continue, Shivani, I don't know what is the future for Indian sport. Maybe there's a big lesson to be learned from this, that planning and more planning is the order of the day.
Absolutely. A very, very sad turn of events, really. While we continue to celebrate medals, on the ground, shooters are facing extensive problems. Let's take a look at some other results from day 3 of the Asian Games. Saurav Ghoshal has created history at Incheon, becoming the first Indian player to reach the finals of the men's squash event. Saurav, who's the top seed for the event, beat Beng Hee-ong of Malaysia in straight sets to reach the final. He's assured himself at least a silver. Deepika Pallikal lost in her semi-final match in the women's singles against Nicole and David of Malaysia 11-4, 11-4, 11-5 to settle for a bronze. India's men's tennis team lost to Kazakhstan in the quarters of the team event. Both Yuki and Sanam lost their singles, and even though the doubles team of Saket and Divid Charan won their match, it wasn't enough as India went down 1-2. And it was bad news for the women's team too, who went down to Kazakhstan again in the quarters of the women's team event. They lost 1-2 again.